Welcome, everyone. Oh my God, I am super excited. Today is day 5. Well, 5, not 10. Day 5 of the 5-day virtual summit. And today is our last day. But today we have 2 shows, one at 12 p.m. because that's when we're all at lunch, right? Perfect timing. And one at 6 p.m. So make sure you stay until the 6 p.m. show at the end because that's when we're going to do our raffle. And let's just say that it's gonna be a great raffle. We're gonna have some amazing gifts. Some of the presenters might stay on and answer any other questions. So this 5-day virtual summit is brought to you by the Ghost Slayer show. I hope you have enjoyed all 5 days all 4 days so far, and you are enjoying day 5 today. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Rosa Barriget, and I am an online business coach for virtual assistant, or for those thinking about becoming a virtual assistant. I help them create, launch, and grow their business. So if you have questions, you can check me out on my website, rosabarriget.com. So let's talk about our next guest, guys. Isn't this exciting? Let me just put her screen up all the way up. So let's talk about our next guest. So our next guest name is Shantel. She is a certified process improvement strategist with over 10 years of a streaming business workflow. She has a gift for showing others how to establish customized goals and developing smart systems that will help them declutter their business and run them with ease. She is a mompreneur. She is a wife and a goal slayer. She currently works full-time as a certified process improvement strategist for a Fortune 500 company. And she's also the proud owner of Richer Reality, a business clarity coaching firm. So today she will be sharing with us some tips and some strategies on how having clarity can move you from chaos to contentment in your business. So guys, please help me welcome Shantel.
Hello, everyone.
Hi,
How are
Shantel.
you, Miss Rosa?
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited about today.
So I am going to give you the floor. I will be here. So let me pull up your presentation.
Okay.
1 second, bear.
So, virtual reality. And today we are going to cover the 8 C's of how you go from business chaos to business contentment in 6 steps. But before we start going through our topic of today, just want to do a little bit of housekeeping. One, if you just in case you hear some things going on in the background, I do tend to get dry mouth on occasion. As you can see, dry mouth on occasion whenever I speak. So I do have me some handy dandy water here, as well as I also travel with some notes because I want to make sure that we get through all the goodness that we have in store for us in regards to this topic, as well as just to keep me on task so that we can be respectful of everyone's time. So with that said, we'll go ahead on and get into the topic of today. So on our next slide, I'll go through, again, just a quick overview of who I am. And it's just a quick repeat of what Rose has already said, that I actually am a business clarity coach, and I show female entrepreneurs how to gain clarity in their purpose, processes, and profits so they can ditch the uncertainty and run their businesses with ease. So they can declutter, de-stress, and de-chaos their businesses. So they basically can embrace the freedoms that they've been striving for all of that hard work. Now you can actually enjoy it. So again, I'm the owner of Richer Reality. I'm the business clarity coach there. I am a certified process improvement strategist I've been that for over 10 years as a working for a Fortune 500 company, and I'm also a personal finance coach. So on our next slide, we have our big question of the day. How do you de-chaos your business? So again, you can run it with ease and contentment. So a lot of us were finding, especially when we're first starting out, or even when we're in the midst of running our business, we find that we're in a place of chaos. So how do we move from being in chaos to a place of contentment? And on our next slide, on our next slide, you will find that we do this via the chaos to contentment path. This is the way that you can change your business from one of chaos to one of contentment. And you can do it by the highlighted 6 steps of clarity, commitment, consistency, customers, currency, and choices. And we'll go through each of those on our next slides. So here we have chaos, and chaos is pretty much a starting point for all of us, as I said. And in chaos, there's so much uncertainty in this phase. We either have no idea of what we want to do, no idea whatsoever, or we're on the opposite end of that spectrum to where we have too many ideas. Everything looks great. All of the bright and shinies are coming at you, and you really want to embrace them all. But what we find is that we either have too little or too much to work with, and it creates a place of churn, a place of overwhelm. So we have no idea how to start or no idea of what our next step should be. And that's where our next step on our next slide, that's where clarity comes in. So clarity is absolutely pivotal. Clarity is our first step, and it's our first step for a reason, because if we are not clear on what we want to do, who we want to do it for, and how we want to show up to do it for them, then you find that your whole operation from start to finish and everything in between, it doesn't flow as smoothly as it could. Could you make money by still being unclear and working and having a little or a lot of chaos in your business? Yes, you could make some money. You could even make a lot of money. But how much money are you actually wasting? How much time are you wasting? How much freedom are you wasting and losing by not having a smooth operation? So to avoid those, we really need to be clear on our what, our who, and our how. And once we have that, that's when we can move on to our next step, which is commitment. So now you're clear and you have that clarity, that'll help you to build your solid foundation, and you can actually start building commitments. And by commitments, I mean goals. So by goals, you'll say, okay, by X, I want to have, or I want to do Y. So in the instance of having a business, you can say by the end of the year, I want to have $100,000. I want to make $100,000 in my business. In 5 years, I want my business to help me leave my 9 to 5. Or it could be by the end of third quarter, I want to have 3 real solid streams of income. So when you have that clarity, that's when you can actually create those goals and the plans that go along with them so that you can actually move forward. So once you have that commitment, that's when you move into the next step, which is consistency. So you have your goals and you have your plan, but now you actually have to show up, and you have to show up in a quality fashion. So it can't be this every now and again, every once in a while I'll show up. I think I have a little bit of time, so let me go and put this little post on Facebook, or I'll do a little live here, a little live there, and see how it works out. That won't work. If you think about it from the standpoint of trying to lose weight. So if we're trying to lose 20 pounds, we can have our SMART goal. I want to lose 20 pounds in 2 months. but then you go to the gym every 3 weeks and think that that's going to help. Nah, we already know that's not what I said. It will not work if we don't actually have consistency in what we're trying to do. Or let's say you're trying to run a marathon, because sometimes having a business is like actually running a marathon of some sorts. Now, when I'm talking about marathon, I'm talking about 3K. We're gonna keep it real. Actually, even for me, it might be a 1K, but still marathon. We're gonna go with that, right? So if you've never run a marathon, then saying you're gonna get up tomorrow and go run, how successful will you be if you actually have that mindset? Or let's say that you've actually run marathons before, but it's been 3 or 4 years since you've actually done it. You still can't really get up and just say tomorrow I'm going to go and run a marathon and beat my previous time. No, you actually have to be consistent with how you're actually showing up, and that show up again has to be a quality show up. It can't just be, here, there, onesie, twosie every once in a while. It has to be of quality. And what you'll find is when you are consistent, that not only are you more capable, not only do you become capable, you actually can get better, and then you can even expand. Because now that you're running, let's go with the marathon. Okay, now I'm good with running 3Ks. So first, I'm now able to run a 3K. Now I can run more 3Ks, but you know what? I think I'm going to go to the next level, and I'm going to try and run a 5K or a 10K or the Boston Marathon. When you start being consistent with your practice, then your efforts and your rewards become better as well. So once you have that consistency, the next thing that you notice is that your customers become you having that consistency now allows your audience and your customers to get used to you. It really helps you to establish that know, like, and trust factor, and it also helps your admirers. It helps them to become admirers of your actual products. So when you have that service that's out there, it's easier to sell a service or a product to someone who's already bought one thing from you before than it is to go out and try and get this whole new client, this whole new customer to come on board with your services. When I think of a Coke product, so I like Coke. Me and Coca-Cola are friends. And when they come out with the Coke Zero, I tried it. I liked it. Great. When they come out with the orange, or I think it was the orange vanilla, I didn't like that one so much. That's actually pretty terrible. But because I like the original product, and then they came out with another quality product, it set me up to try other products within their whole product line. So that's what you're establishing when you have those customers, and you are being true to those customers that you already have in your base. Because what it also does, it builds your reputation, and it also solidifies your word of mouth factor. So when you give them a quality product, they'll buy another quality product from you, but then they'll also tell other people about you. They'll tell them about how consistently you show up, and how consistently good your products are and your services are. So that's what you get when you have that consistency, and then you bring in a customer base, and you actually cater to them and what their needs are, and you do it on a consistent basis. So when you have those customers, that then helps you to build your currency. So when we talk about currency, first of all, let's keep in mind, we have to bear in mind that currency is not just money. Currency could be time, it can be attention, it can be energy, it can also be nerves or peace of mind. All of those things can actually be considered a currency. A currency is anything that is spent, anything that's exhaustible, anything that can actually be wasted, so to speak. So that's what we're talking about when we think of currency. But the beautiful thing is that when you have all of those first 4 steps in alignment, then it either frees up, or not either, it can, and or it'll free up your currency that you already have, or it'll give you more. So you can waste less money and make more money. You can waste less time and you'll have more time to develop your network, or it can give you more focus so that you can actually create other products and then get that third those three income streams by the third quarter. So that's what happens when you actually build up your currency. And when you have that currency, it brings us to our sixth step, and that's when you have your choices. So when your currency increases, your choices increase as well. So when you actually, it allows you to actually be able to pursue things that you couldn't before, because your resources, your currencies were very limited. They were tied up with other things. But now you have choices. So with money, now you can pay off debts, or you can go on vacations, or you can buy a house or a car. So now you have this, not what actually could be surplus. You have this extra currency, or you have this currency that's either been freed up or it's been increased to where now you have these choices of how you can actually spend your money, how you can actually spend your time. You can spend it with family and friends, or you just have more time to where you can just have self-care for yourself. Focus, you can now maybe write a book that you've had on hold for about 2 years or more. Energy. Before, whenever you've always had this intention of working out, whether it's before work or after work or whatever the case may be, but you didn't have any energy to pursue it because it was all taken up because everything else was out of whack. There was no clarity. You didn't really have any solid commitments. You were just all over the place and you were just full of overwhelm. But now you have that energy to, you can either exercise or take some classes, take some dance classes or something. You have choices now. And it's the same thing with your nerves. And actually, it's not even so much a choice with your nerves. It's just more so that your nerves, you're more at peace and you can actually enjoy the opportunities that the increased currency has brought to you. And because of that, that will lead you to contentment. And when you can actually enjoy more and worry less, you can truly say that you're on your way, or you've actually achieved your contentment that you've been after for all of this time. So that is actually our chaos to contentment path. And just to give a high level overview of it, on our next slide, you'll see that basically those first three steps, the clarity, the commitment, and the consistency, those are the steps where most of the work occurs. And then in where you have your customers, your currency, and your choices, that's the reward. And it's not so much saying that there's not some work that goes on there. You can't get complacent and just say, oh, I don't have to do anything during the reward steps. It's more so saying that because the other three are so solid and so in alignment there, that it makes the work that you have to do in the reward phase less difficult, less cumbersome. It's not as hard to do those things because you've set yourself up in the first three. So from there, if you look at the chaos to contentment path on the next slide, this is where you see how the 6 steps and the 3 key areas, how they are in alignment, of how the purpose, the process, and the profits, how they align with those 6 steps. And there is some overlap there as well. And there's even some more granular overlap than just what's shown here. But it does give you an idea that when you're working your purpose, when you have the first bit of work done, how that also flows into the processes and the profits. And that is the alignment of the 6 areas, the 6 key steps and the 3 key areas and how it aligns on the chaos to contentment path. And on our next slide, here are some pitfalls for you to avoid in each of those 6 steps. So with clarity, you definitely need to self-reflect, because again, this is where it starts with you, of what do you have to offer? Who are you trying to help with what you have to offer, and how do you want to show up? So all of that starts with you, and it will not work if you do not self-reflect. And the other piece of that is to make sure that you aren't doing comparisons, because comparison is the thief of joy. And if you're trying to be like everyone else, there's no room for you to just be you. So with commitment, you want to definitely make sure that your goals are SMART, that they're specific, measurable, attainable, relatable, and time-bound. And you also want to make sure that you don't overextend yourself. Again, you can't do everything at once, and everything can't be number one. So don't try to do that. And that's where making sure that your goals are SMART also helps to play in not overextending yourself. And consistency, you don't want to overextend yourself there either. There are 50 million platforms out there, right? There's Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Kick, everything. There's Snapchat. There's so many things out there, but that doesn't mean that you have to be on every single one of them. Find the one for starting out. Find the one that speaks to you the most and use that one to start off with. You can always add others, and you can even take some away if you find that it's becoming too much work. But don't overextend yourself, because then you'll burn out and then you can't be consistent, which brings you to the other pitfall of being inconsistent, because you're so overwhelmed you just don't do any of it, and then that's not going to serve your customers. And for customers, there's nothing worse than being disorganized and then not being there to help the people figure out how to get through the disorganization. So don't have everything be so difficult, so many different hoops to jump through just to get to your products or your services. And then when they come to you to ask you for help, you're nowhere to be found. They'll send you emails and it's cricket. And there's crickets. So make sure that you are organized and that you are there for your customers. Excuse me. For currency, you cannot be ignorant of when it comes to your currency. In particular, in this instance, specifically in regards to your funds and in regards to money. What are your income goals? How much money do you actually need just for your living expenses? How much do you actually need to pay off your business expenses? You need to know all of those things so that you can make sure that you are, when you're setting up your how you're going to actually show up, which also includes pricing your products, that you actually know what it is that you need so that you don't sell yourself short as well. And also you have to think about inflation, and inflation can be an inflation of abundance as well as of lack. If you are always thinking, you know what, I don't have any money for this, there's no way I can afford this coach, or I can afford this coach that'll help push me further along in my business, then that's coming from a place of lack. And you have to be able to invest in yourself so that you can turn around and actually have a successful business. And in regards to choices, gluttonous, as I've said previously, as far as trying to do everything at once, you have time. Especially right now, we have a good bit of time. So think about some of the things that you want to do and set some goals around them. Maybe it's, instead of saying, I want to watch all of the 100 movies on AFI's Best Movies, maybe you can say, I want to watch 10 of them this year. So it's not that you have to do everything in your catalog of your bucket list. Pace yourself. The other thing is to not be a coward. These are your choices. Think big. Think of some big goals that you actually want to do. Don't limit yourself, because you've actually afforded yourself this opportunity to expand and to try different things, and not to always wonder, well, if I had the time, the money, and just the energy to do something, this is what I would like to do. You have it now. So go ahead and express yourself. So with that said, this is how you can actually reach contentment. Contentment can actually be yours. Again, my name is Shantel Gathen-James, and I am the business clarity coach of Richer Reality. And in order to reach me, my website will be available in May. But in the meantime, you can reach me at those two emails or on my Facebook page. And I also provide services across all three of the key areas, which is purpose, profits, and I'm still saying it all out of order. Processes, there we go, and profits across those three key areas. And I do audits, laser coaching, intensives, accelerators, and courses.
Awesome. This is so good. For those of us that are like in business or those of us that are thinking about creating a business, this is good information. Let me go to two places. I have two screens here. So I'm going to go first here in my business page to some comments. I'll bring your contact info back in a minute. Okay. So let's see. So Candace says it makes sense when you were talking about the chaos and the first two slides. She said it makes sense. Gloria Darling says great information. Love this. I'm sharing it with my son. Never too early to promote a business mindset. Yes, and her son is going to college in September.
Yes.
Tavia says true. And Gloria says, I would love to complete your steps in a seminar. Have you offered a working seminar using your model? And if so, how much is registration?
Actually, I have not, Gloria. I think that is a wonderful idea. And as soon as I do create something, I will definitely let you know.
Awesome.
I think that is a great idea. And the other thing to think about is even though the steps they're based on business, you can actually use these in any just in general life. If you instead of having customers and thinking of them from a business standpoint, your loved ones can be customers. Or if you work a 9-to-5, that could also, your employers can be customers as well, because we all have projects, we all have goals and things that we want to achieve, both in business, in work, as well as life. And so this can also work from that standpoint as well. Yep.
Awesome. Let me see. Tavia says, thank you.
No problem. Glad to share.
So some people that logged in my Facebook page was, hey, Edwin, Samantha, thank you guys for joining. I can't see the rest. But so if people want to get in touch with you, let's see. So they can go here, right?
Yes, definitely.
info@reachreality.com. She is on Facebook, guys. Go follow her page. Give it a like. Reach Reality. And if you are on Instagram, you can reach her at where?
I'm actually not on, well, I am on Instagram. It's just, as I was saying.
So for business, are you on Instagram for your business? Not yet.
Yeah, you saw how I paused on it. It's coming. Facebook right now, and that's what I was saying before. Instagram is not a platform that I'm comfortable with as of right now. Mm-hmm. So I'm focusing on the one that I am, and I have to go back and this is something I have to follow my own preaching, right? And update my Facebook and everything as well. And as I said, that's why I was like, my website, it'll be here in May. So we'll see.
We have another comment from Tavia. She said, yes, it does apply to many aspects of life. Awesome. Definitely. Well, thank you, Shantel. If you guys don't have any more questions, we are going to let her go because she has a lot of things to do. And if you have other questions that might come up, or you want maybe clarification, or want to follow up with one of the things of the slides or the chaos or the process that she mentioned, you can reach her on Facebook, or you can reach out to me and I can provide you with her contact info. At the end of after the 6 p.m. show, sometime during the weekend, maybe Sunday evening, you're going to get an email from me if you register for the virtual summit with the contact info for every speaker, their Facebook or social media, so you can stay in touch if you want to stay in touch. Thank you, Shantel. This was great
Thank
information.
you as
Thanks so
well.
much for coming here to the Ghost Layer Show, for showing out and showing up and showing out, like our coach be saying, huh?
Yes, definitely. Every time.
Well, thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
So, guys, we'll be back at 6 p.m. with our last show from the 5-day summit. If you have not registered for the summit, you want to do so before 4 p.m. today, because we are going to have our raffles at the end of the 6 p.m. show. So stay tuned, and I will see you here really, really soon. Take care of yourself. See you soon.